I'm going to talk about what's happening in Gaza. A lot of people have been doing that, but civilians are being deliberately bombed. Most American people don't know that. It has been shown to an American audience, but Al Jazeera has obtained multiple footage of civilians being bombed by drones deliberately, unarmed. It's happened 3 times at least that they've shown. This next line is from the ICJ South Africa delegation. Of roughly 500 2,000-pound bombs used in the first 6 weeks, they were in the so-called safe zone, the southern area, Rafah, where the Palestinians were told to go from Gaza City and Khan Yunis and all that. The razing of Gaza is pretty incredible. There's pretty much nothing left in the north. Rafah is the last standing city. It's been being bombed too. Mosques, about 200 have been destroyed. Churches, 3 destroyed. Universities, all have been destroyed. There was a video of Al Israel University being bombed. It was not a military target. They planted explosives in it. They had control of it. They went in and planted explosives and then detonated it, laughed about it. Schools, they did the same thing for multiple schools, planted explosives in it, detonated it. Mosques, they detonated it from the inside. Hospitals, Shifa Hospital in particular, the biggest hospital in Gaza, they surrounded it. They besieged it twice. The second time, they completely destroyed it, killed about 400 Palestinians. They left them to rot in the courtyard, or they buried them in mass graves. Some of them had zip ties on their hands, videos from the courtyard, meaning they were executed. And about 200 aid workers have been killed. Bodies and apparently live Palestinians have been run over by tanks deliberately. There was one photo of a Palestinian that was crushed by a tank. His arm was out, though, and on that arm he had a zip tie on it. So he was probably run over alive. There's videos of them dragging bodies with tanks and armored vehicles. Targeting UN buildings for fun. There are many videos of tanks shooting at the buildings for no reason, no militants in them. Soldiers shooting at them with rockets, Matador shoulder-fired rockets for no reason. Khan Yunis, that's one of the big flashpoints of the war. It's not even really a war, it's a genocide at this point. It's been completely razed. Netanyahu and many of the soldiers I've seen on social media keep talking about Amalek from the Bible, which is a genocidal reference of killing all men, women, and children. And for some reason, the Israeli soldiers tend to be wearing the displaced Palestinian women's clothing a lot. Probably there are dozens of photos of this on their social media, maybe hundreds. I don't know why they do that. The forced displacement, if they try to come back, they get shot. And if they don't leave, they get bombed. But even if they leave in this area, they get bombed. And they can't go into Egypt. They want to get to Egypt. A lot of them I've talked to want to go to Egypt. But they can't. They can't leave. It's literally, it's comparable to what's the Warsaw Ghetto, if you've read about the Warsaw Ghetto, in a lot of ways, a lot of parallels. They keep talking about they rejected the ceasefire, Hamas, which I don't support Hamas. Let's not get it twisted. But the deal was a 6 to 8 week ceasefire and the release of all hostages. Of course, they're not going to agree to that. Why would they agree to that? They would lose all their leverage for an 8-week maximum ceasefire, and then Israel comes back and destroys them. And Israel and the USA knew that they would reject that, and they used that just so they could blame them for the ceasefire negotiations breaking down. Lloyd Austin yesterday actually had to use the word genocide and deny that that was happening. I thought that was significant because he had to mention it. Usually when the U.S. government says something isn't the case, it is, and vice versa. What is Israel's final solution? As far as I can tell, they want to get all of the Palestinians out of Gaza, but Egypt won't take them yet. So I don't know what the plan is. Do they want to deport them by boat somewhere unknown? Reminiscent of the Madagascar plan of Nazi Germany. That's what they originally wanted to do. They wanted to ship all the Jews to Madagascar. But that broke down when Britain destroyed their ships or something. I forget the story. But I think the most likely scenario is they're going to be displaced somehow out of the Gaza Strip. I hope not, but in a way, I hope so, just so they can get out of that Warsaw-style ghetto. But I think another possibility is they're just going to be displaced from Rafah to somewhere else, and then Rafah gets destroyed. And then they're left to live in ruins, everywhere the ruins. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, but no one seems to care in America, so whatever.